First of all, thank you everyone for coming today. This is an awesome turnout, a lot of awesome people in this room. So again, thank you for coming out. As we get started, first thing I want to do is publicly thank our former head football coach, Chris McCullough. Obviously, our last 3 seasons were the best in school history. And for that, I and the entire rest of the Falcon family will be eternally grateful for that. At this time, today, we welcome the 3rd head football coach in UTPB football history. As you can imagine, the last week to 10 days has been a little crazy. I've told people sometimes it feels like my phone number was on a bathroom wall somewhere with all the calls and text messages and everything else that I was getting over the last 10 days. I talked to a lot of people about Coach Softley over the last 10 days, like I said, and there were a couple things that were repeated almost ad nauseum about Coach Softley. The first being, and these are quotes, "The guy knows football, that dude knows ball, and no one will outcoach him." Those are all direct quotes. Next, and perhaps more importantly, I was told that he is one of the most relational, most genuine, best human beings that you will ever cross paths with. His passion and enthusiasm for football, for student athletes, for people generally, for leadership, and ultimately for success are unmatched. He arrives in the Permian Basin with his wife Autumn and their 4 children. At this time, kill the suspense, I'd like to officially introduce the 3rd head football coach of UTPB Falcon football, Chris Softley.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're good? We're good? Good. All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I'd like to thank Dr. Woodley, Mr. Larson, the interview committee. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for this opportunity. It is a special place, the Permian Basin, West Texas, full of high character, high competence people. I'd like to thank my wife, Autumn. It's been, if it's been a roller coaster for Mr. Larson, you can imagine what it's been for Autumn. The 4 kids, Tatum, Tyler, Trey, and Tate, and they look very good in orange and black. I appreciate them. We've got a lot of coaching friends from around the state here today and that are texting and calling this morning, and I just appreciate the coaching fraternity. The coaches here from West Texas, from Odessa and Midland, that means a lot to me. The high school coaches are the backbone of what makes football, makes Texas the epicenter of football. It is the greatest coaches in the nation right here. And make no mistake, when we're at the center of Friday Night Lights, you've got some of the greatest in your own backyard. And I think we get spoiled with that a lot. These West Texas coaches are first class in everything they do, elite humans, elite teachers of the game, caring for people. We all view coaching as a calling. And so thank you to you West Texas coaches, you guys that have been such a huge part of the development and the product of the brand of football out here in West Texas. I greatly appreciate it. Great men right there. So I'm so grateful to be here. This is a special place. It has unbelievable potential. Just like outside these walls, you know, the potential is going to take some work and some effort to get out of the surface. But boy, it is tremendous when you put the work in. And the reason we love West Texas, the reason we're here, is to be with like-minded people. The West Texas work ethic, the tough attitude, and the innovation, the risk-taking mindset. You know, future favors the bold. And so the people in this room and outside this room in the Permian Basin that wake up every day, rain or shine, and know what it takes to put in a great day's work, that's how you win football games. That's how you build a program. That's how you become a city on a hill and a light post. And this university is led by an elite leader like that, who's not afraid of risk and innovation. And we want to be a football program that's that same way. We want to love kids well. We want to change lives. We want to be part of the mission of this university, and we're thankful to get started. And with all due respect, we've got a lot of work to do. So let's get to these questions. Let's get going.
Coach, first of all, welcome to the Permian Basin.
Thank you.
Saying how important West Texas is to you and how important West Texas football is. How much does it mean to you to take this next step, staying local to West Texas? Oh,
it's essential. I mean, truly, the people make everything, right? It's first who, then what. You want to surround yourself with high-quality people. We believe we're big on alliterations, right? So it all starts with people. Life's all about relationships. And the West Texas people are second to none. And then you create elite processes. And when you need to fix stuff, you go into the processes. always stay in line with your purpose, and then the product, the scoreboard, it takes care of itself. But the first thing, the first domino in all that is the people. And when you can surround a room with the human element that we have right here and the human element that we have coming here from other states that are coming to take jobs with us here, I couldn't be more excited about the potential of what we have.
And joining after Coach Chris McCullough, 3 years of making so much program history, how much is that a draw to this program to join it at this point after Coach McCullough?
Well, I think you want to ride that wave for sure. And you want to let recruits know that this is not a program to just come and play average D2 football. This is a program where we want to compete for championships. Period, end of story. And you set big expectations like that, well, you better put in the work. But the truth is that's the type of athlete we want to attract, is somebody that wants to be around high achievers, who wants to be held accountable. Everybody in this program, including me, coaches and players, we all agree to be coached. Period, end of story. And so if you want to come in and not have to work, you want things coming to you, and you want to be entitled, we're probably not the place for you. But if you want to lace it up and strap it up, and you want to be great in the classroom and in the weight room and on the practice field, and you want to earn the right to perform on Saturdays, well, then we're going to give you your shot, and this will be a fun place to compete.
Coach, what led to the decision you had all that success at the high school level, to make that jump to come here to UT?
We've had a lot of options in the past. You know, everybody sees it as a high school coach. You know, what they don't see from these high school coaches are all the jobs they've turned down. And if you could wear all those logos on your chest, you know, you may look at these high school coaches a little bit differently. It's a shame. It's a simple-minded shame that we do when we put them in a box, because these are some of the greatest schematic sequencing people, you know, that are in the game. And so the truth of the matter is we've all had opportunities. We always weigh those, and we go on walks. We seek wise counsel. This one was different. The opportunity, I've talked about the potential, the people, the facilities. I believe in this place. I believe in the leadership, being aligned in your leadership. You know, I go from being in charge to now being, 45th on the depth chart right now in terms of a charge, you know. And so you've got to have trust in those people above you. And I am very excited to hitch my wagon to these people, because these are elite leaders.
And transitioning from McCullough now to you, what would the players and the fans see from the program, some similarities that they saw with McCullough, with your system, but also what you bring to the table?
Good question. We want to capitalize on the strengths that he built, and an explosive offense, right? They led the nation in passing. The playoff success, right? Getting a great draw and going up there and beating a really quality CSU Pueblo team, and then going to Western Colorado. It's a good draw, but 2 great playoff wins right there, and then going toe-to-toe with Harding. So we want to certainly take advantage of the strengths that he's left us with. I hope what you'll see is a tough football team, a team that plays the right way, a team that can handle their business in adversity and prosperity, team that can handle the injuries that come along with a really tough, arduous Lone Star Conference schedule, but because of the depth and the breadth that we're going to build this locker room with. So I hope you'll see that on game days. I hope you'll see a team that plays with tremendous passion for the school that they get to represent and the Permian Basin. And when you play smart, tough football with a whole lot of passion, you know, the score is going to take care of itself. You're going to put yourself in a lot of fourth quarters where you can go win a game.
Let's start with the transfer portal a few days ago. What have these last few days been like for you and your staff?
You know, there's a myriad of ways to attack the transfer portal, right? And everybody's a genius at it until it all shakes out, and then you wait 2 years and you're like, okay, I missed here, or, you know, if you're a bigger program, we invest a lot of money here. And I think the truth of the matter is we really want to have a philosophy where we want to make sure that the truth of the matter is you get beat by the guys you get, not the guys you miss. And so we want to take it really slow. We want to do our vetting process. And we want to make sure that the people we're bringing into this locker room are the right culture fit, and that they're going to take the coaching, and that they want to be maximized physically, mentally, spiritually, day in and day out. We've got to have kids that are great in the classroom and out of the classroom. We want to be people that are leaders in society. And so that takes time. And the portal is anything but patient. So what we are doing right now is we have our team all over, some in this field house, and some are on the road right now, and some are in other field houses. And we've got a lot of people looking for unique skill sets that need to fill this roster. We're looking for impact transfers that can come in and play right away.
Coach, obviously you're going to bring in a whole lot of new to this program, new to this football team. But one consistent that's going to carry over is quarterback Cannon Gibson.
That's right.
How important is it for you to have a field general that was here with the team last season and help you transition into this new era?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's a rock. He's a cornerstone of that locker room. And the truth of the matter is what do you want to do offensively? What do you want to do defensively? Well, it matters what your locker room can do. What are your players? And it all starts with Cannon on the offensive side of the ball. So the small amount of time we've been able to get together, get on whiteboard, talk shop a little bit is what do you love, what do you hate, where are your strengths at? And then we're going to adjust schematically to make sure that we accentuate his talents and the talents of his teammates around him. I just think what he's capable of with the ball in his hands, the competitive instincts and the toughness, and that's a guy you can win with on Saturdays.
I know you're excited to be here, but you are leaving behind a Lubbock Christian program that you spent almost a decade with.
Yeah.
You had a lot of success there. How has that school and that family prepared you for this moment?
That's a great question. It's very bittersweet, right? When you put down deep roots, it's hard to pull them out. And, if life truly is about relationship, if you're committing to be a part of something bigger than yourself, then it should be hard to say goodbye. That program is going to ascend when we leave. It's going to go even higher. The people, again, very similar to this, the people in those positions of authority and in every role on that campus are elite. Jim Collins talks in the book Good to Great about level 4 and level 5 leaders. And a level 4 leader is the one we know most often, who succeeds and thrives. And when he leaves, it crumbles behind him because everything relied on him as a leader. And he was the centerpiece. The level 5 leader is the one that sets people up where they thrive when he leaves. And we'll find out what kind of leader I was. But if I was a betting man, the people on that campus are going to thrive in our absence. They're fantastic. It's an elite school, and it's a special place.
Then Coach, last week, Texas Tech head coach Joe McGuire praised the program for hiring you. Just what does it mean to have that recognition from a coach of his stature?
Yeah. Well, you got Joey and Jeff Traylor and Gus Malzahn, guys that were high school coaches at one point and made the jump. Joey is as good as they come. You guys know that. From his first press conference, I didn't do Falcon Power here, like Joey did with Raider Power. But he's an elite human. He's a great recruiter. He's a great teacher. All that comes from within, but all that is also shaped by his high school background. And so I think Joey McGuire, on the eve of a college football playoff game, being selfless enough to tweet that out and give love to another high school coach making the jump, it's really special. That's what an elite coach does, is he's got the ability to see the full picture. And so I'm a big fan of Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, and that staff that he's assembled up there. As you know, they're elite at what they do. And so to get that seal of approval is truly, truly special and a great honor.
And Coach, coming up from the high school level, you've spent the last almost a decade at Lubbock Christian hoping to get your kids recruited to
That's right.
college. So obviously you don't know necessarily until you get in and see how the transfer portal goes for you and also the recruiting process goes. But how much are you trying to balance still bringing up these high school kids from Texas, but also the transfer portal?
It's a great question. Yeah, we see it in 3 phases. The first step is you need to re-recruit your roster. College football is different now than it's ever been. It's much more transactional, and we're going to try to be the black sheep, and we're going to try to be really transformational and get back to the old school roots that we fell in love with what college football was. We want to be the same type of mentor leader that these high school coaches are, and we want them to have confidence that where they're putting their mini sons, that where they're putting them is a place that's also going to love and invest in them. And so I say that to say is we want to re-retain our roster. We want to have continuity in this program, no doubt about it. Number 2, you want to find impact players in the transfer portal. And then number 3 is you have to build your foundation through high school. And that's what we want to be about here. And it may be a situation truly where we take a high school kid that we want to have for 4 years and we only have for 2 because Joey McGuire comes in and takes him. But you know what? We're going to celebrate that. And we're going to come up with a sweet way to have a party every time that happens because it's like that young man's getting a promotion. And we want to be about that. We want to be about him getting to achieve maximal value with his opportunities. And so make no mistake about it, the high school recruiting is open for business at UTPB. But we are also aware of the situation at hand. And if people want to come and get developed and then get their chance, we're going to celebrate them on that move.
And also talking about the high school recruiting, you mentioned all the great coaches that are here in the Permian Basin and also your great program at Lubbock Christian. How much local talent is there that you're aiming to try to grab in the next couple of years?
Yeah, first meeting we had, we drew a big circle around Odessa, Texas. And we said, this is what we're calling our backyard. And we have got to be purposeful about getting players out of our backyard. It is priority number 1. I joked with these coaches earlier today. I said, on day 1 on the job early this morning, my plan was to go around and see each of them. And then Mr. Larson told me about all these rules that I've apparently agreed to follow now, all this compliance. And so I said, I'll be there as soon as he tells me I can be there. So it is a priority, and I believe in West Texas. I believe in the brand of football that we play, and I believe in the kid that can walk in a little under-recruited, a little undersized, and develop into an elite football player because of all those things that we've talked about already, that attribute, that appetite for work.
Your experience at Abilene Christian prior, but that was a long time ago. What are you doing to catch up on the changes that have happened since you were last in college?
That's a fantastic question. Yeah, he asked about the changes in college football, and the last time I was in the Lone Star was 2008, 2010. And the truth of the matter is everybody's having to fight the changes. Anybody that's been in the college game for the last 5 years, they've been fighting changes. So anybody that says, well, I got 5 years of experience and he's got 5 minutes. Well, the truth is the laws and the rules change so fast, we've all got 5 minutes of experience. And so I think it's to our advantage a little bit because we've been able to stand by the road and kind of watch how things play and think, how would we do it? The other thing, though, is we've been tapping into our resources like crazy. The high school coaching network that we get together and solve the world's problems are, like the local barbershop, at THSCA convention. I think that network and that wisdom will apply. But also our connections in the college football game. Coach Thompson was our head coach back then at ACU. He's now at Florida State. Chris Ross I spoke to this morning, just took the job at Tarleton. Close friends. Joey McGuire's already been mentioned. James Blanchard. Those guys that are close friends in the industry that care about the success of this brand of football. D2 model, West Texas success. They will be useful resources that we will call on often to know how to navigate and how to wisely maximize and stretch the dollar so that we can make this program as elite as it can be right away.
Coach, a big part of success, a big part about building a program, maintaining it, is fan support. Obviously, we have a lot of people here today
Yes.
for your introductory press conference, but they don't always just want to see you on the sideline. They want to see you in the community. They want to see you contributing to Midland, Odessa. Have you already been looking into ways that you can get out into Ector and Midland County and kind of show face?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and that's where I rely a lot on our contacts in this area and the high school coaches. I need to know where the best Mexican restaurants are, and we need to get it quick. But the truth of the matter is go back to 2009, Abilene, Texas, and we just got done with an elite date with a young girl named Autumn Whitaker, and I sat her down and I said, hey, here's the deal. I'm very interested, but we need to have that talk. And I said, I'm going to be a coach. I feel called to coach. I want to make impact through coaching. Here's what it entails. Are you in or out? And she said, I'm all in. And I said, let's do this thing. So we made her Autumn Softley as fast as possible. And the fact of the matter is I say all that to say is she's known from the beginning of what it would take to run successful programs and how we want to be relational in the community. And we're going to have no issue getting out and about and shaking hands and being at games. That's what we signed up for, and we are excited for the opportunity to do that.
And then also, too, and then earlier you talked about the offense and Cannon Gibson and how that's going to run. Talk a little about the defense and what can we expect from them? Yeah, so
I think the sky is the limit defensively. Obviously, you're losing an elite player in Mr. X-Line. And he's, I don't know if we can talk about that, but he's signing and committing to go play at a bigger level and doing fantastic things. You're losing a great D-line. But the truth of the matter is with Josh Bookbinder coming in from TCU, the experience at the Division I level that he's bringing, the attraction that brings for portal kids is our ability to rebuild that defense will be a significant priority. And I plan on it being a significant strength of our team moving forward. We will be aggressive. We'll play the right way, and Lord willing, we'll take a whole lot of turnovers, and that'll change the game.
Coach, Chris McCullough, all throughout this past season, considered the Lone Star Conference to be the SEC of Division II football with the different competition, with the different faces they see. And it's not your first stint in the Lone Star, but as you said, things have changed. What are you looking forward to in conference play?
Well, I think whatever conference you're in is always the SEC, right? So I'm going to go ahead and agree with that, right? It's definitely the SEC of Division II football. What I'm really excited about is the quality of the coaching, just the depth of the coaching. You have Coach Gersh at Angelo State, who's really the forerunner, just an established program and has built it in the right way and has so much retention with his staff, which I think speaks to the character that he is, the quality of character that he has and possesses as he leads that program. West Texas A&M, tremendous facilities and potential with Coach Lynn. You have Coach Browse that just took over in Eastern, and Coach Parr last year at Kingsville. I love Rich Renner at Midwestern State, probably the best man in the conference. And so you can just go through the list, and you're looking and you're going, well, there's no off weeks. You've got a tremendous depth and breadth to the conference. You have great coaches, and you've got great talent. You have some elite talent across the board in this conference. So it will be a fun and arduous stretch run for sure.
Do you have a previous relationship with Mr. Larson since he used to be at Lubbock Christian University?
I have crossed paths with him before. Yes, sir. Yes. And I got to see what he was able to build over there at LCU and just the tremendous championship potential and then achieving and recognizing that potential. Women's basketball, men's basketball is elite. Baseball, softball, you go down the line. They've got great coaches. It starts with people first, and then they have had great results. And so absolutely I plan on that being the case for us here now in Orange and Black.
Anything else?
Hiring experienced coaches is going to be a big deal because you're coming from the high school.
That's what people keep telling me. Yeah, that people keep telling me that apparently your experience doesn't count if you're from high school, okay? I'm going to go ahead and be on record as the high school coaches in the state of Texas are elite coaches. They could all take college jobs tomorrow and elevate the brand if they so chose. But with respect to your question, because I do understand it is a great question, bringing in a Josh Bookbinder, Texas Tech, TCU, Liberty University, Baylor University, having that resume, it does matter, it does sell. Bringing in a D-line coach from TCU, having the ability, right now we're in final talks. I won't get deep into it. We got to cross some T's, but the O-line coach and the defensive backs coach are going to come in with very impressive resumes and experience. But you're right on this is what I do want to have is I want to have D2, FCS, and FBS experience. I think it's really important to have that across the board, be able to everybody bring their perspective to the table. When we get in that war room, we want to come in with good ideas, we want to hash it out, and we want to leave with a unified great idea. And that's what you do when you surround yourself with wise people, right? And I think the wisest people we know surround themselves with people that fill in their weaknesses and their gaps, that accentuate those areas, and together you can create a staff that is holistically well-rounded and elite in all areas. And so that is the goal, no doubt about it. And we are extremely aggressive. This phone has been tied to my ear. I've made a lot of friends in the coaching profession because we've interviewed about 47 coaches over the last 3 days for various spots, and we are down to the 11th hour, and we have some great coaches that are weighing our options.
Coach, got a long 8 months until the season kicks off at Sound Broadband Stadium, but in the time working up to it, what are you hoping? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, the truth is you really, it's like how do you eat an elephant, right? Just one bite at a time. Is we've got 12 days here that we're kind of calling our portal window, that we want to get kids in class, in housing, get the transcripts all taken care of. And so we are in a sprint for this small window for the portal. And at that same time, we want to start building those high school relations. And then those next 12 days before the first Wednesday in February is when we want to finalize and put a bow on our high school recruiting. And then we may just be able to get a full night's sleep, and then we'll get ready for spring ball with our off-season workouts and starting to put in our scheme and starting really to focus on our kids and building that relationship. You go through spring ball, you get into summer, and how we can gain an advantage in the summer with being wise according to the opportunities that we're allotted. And then, you hit the ground in fall camp, and then it just becomes football. It becomes ball, it becomes people, and who can get the most out of the team that is in their locker room? Who has the ability to reach the human heart and to get them to play for something beyond themselves, to play selfless and to commit to the team? And those are going to be the teams that are successful, and those are the teams that are playing in December.
All right, so just first of all, it was the introductory press conference for Coach Softley, and seeing all the support and hearing his great aspirations for this program. What does that mean to you, being the VP of the athletic program and being a part of the hiring?
Well, I'm just eternally grateful for all the people that are in this room, from some of our staff to university staff to donors to community folks to, I'm not going to try and list everybody because I'll forget, as I look around this room. But it's incredible the turnout here, the sport for UTPB. It's obvious, and I don't know about everybody else, but every time I hear Coach Softley, I'm ready to put on the pads and get out there and get after it. So, which would be a detriment to the team, but I'm ready to get after it.
And Coach was saying that maybe not always the Texas high school coaches are maybe not always getting the notice that they deserve. How was that for you, getting a high school coach who has a lot of success at the high school level, bringing him up?
Well, I think that's an awesome byproduct, but that wasn't the intent going in. The intent of this search was to get the best person for this job, the right person at the right time, for the right reasons. That was the intent, and obviously we ended up with a very successful high school coach for that. So like I said, it wasn't the intent, but I think it's awesome. Obviously the relationships that he's got at the high school level and in West Texas specifically. So I think it's great.
Can you talk about what you were looking for the next head coach of this program when you began this search, and how Softley checked off all those boxes?
Well, I mean, like I said, we were looking for the best person. It wasn't necessarily the best person for the job. His success, he's a man of integrity, ethics, he's won everywhere he's been. He just checked all those boxes. I mean, those folks that were on the Zoom calls, the texts I was getting during those Zoom calls during the interview process, those folks all felt the same way in terms of his passion for football and ultimately UTPB.
And you have a lot of great attendance at when you have the Ratliff games, and obviously always at the Sound Broadband Stadium. But with the new coach coming in for football, I think it's a good chance to ask the question if there is any movement on a on-campus stadium at all. I know previous new athletic directors have spoken about that.
The conversations are ongoing. I'm optimistic. I don't want to speak in absolutes because that always gets me in trouble until dirt is moving. But conversations are happening, and I'm optimistic that will happen in the relatively near future.
Coach, excuse me. So,
That's all right. I've been called worse.
yes. Scott, Coach was talking about how he's considering Odessa Midland to be his backyard where he's going to be recruiting from, but Lubbock's only 2 hours away, less than 2 hours away, and you're bringing in a guy that's familiar with West Texas to lead this program. How important was it to find someone that has familiarity with West Texas, the Lone Star Conference, and just the area in general?
Well, it was very important because obviously, as we all know, West Texas football is special at the high school level and beyond. And I think he didn't quite get into the whole thing, but he's got circles drawn, the Permian Basin, and continuing out as they determine who to recruit and how to recruit and all of that. So West Texas, the state of Texas, all of that is very important for Coach Softley in recruiting. I think it's very important for UTPB as well.
And I know on December 23rd, on December 23rd, the day that McCall left, and then 8 days after then Softley's hired. Just was it the goal to get something that fast before the new year, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. With the D1 transfer portal window opening on January 2nd, that was the goal in the back of my head. We weren't going to do it if we didn't find the right person, but that was the goal in the back of my head, was to do that. Like I told you, my wife will tell you, she's here today too, but there were times, my phone was attached to my ear, to my fingers, and, there were times that she was like, hey, I'm here too, especially around the holidays and all that. But no, that was the goal, was to be here, have somebody here by January 2nd, because I think that's how we keep this thing moving. If it goes too much longer, we lose a lot of our current players in the portal. We lose access to other players in the portal, the high school recruiting, all of that. And so that was the goal all along, was January 2nd. We weren't going to do it if we didn't find the right person, but that was the goal.
Not only do we have a lot of people in attendance here, there's been a lot of support on social media for Softley's hiring. What does that say about the UTPB community and how they've rallied around him since the announcement?
Well, I think it says two things. I think it says a lot about him and what he left and the impact he had in Lubbock. And those people, I got texts from people up there, asking if I wanted my friends to start hating me now that I brought him down here and things like that. So I think it says a lot about the impact he had up there, but then also the reception that we've gotten for him down here. People see the potential impact that he is going to make here in the Permian Basin as well.
And Coach Softley was talking about how the schedule for the next month is still very, very busy with the transfer portal and then also National Signing Day for high school. Is this, though, a little bit of a breath, or a relief of breath now that you have your guy who is leading it?
Yes and no. Yes, obviously, because we have somebody in place doing it, but now he wants all kinds of information and all kinds of things that, being new and institutional knowledge and all of that. So he's got myself and the rest of us in the athletic department hopping to try and get that information that he needs and wants in order to make good recruiting decisions.